Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. We again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. Final hour, and in particular the last few minutes of the day, are my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions. During the day, you have algorithms, day traders, they are controlling the price. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions, they're coming in with size. They can move the market and they take the price control away from the day traders and the algorithms because they're dealing with so much money, because they have such smart people, best information, best technology. I feel like the best approach is to follow what they are doing at the end of the day. Just following what the large financial institutions are doing at the end of the day, in my opinion, creates an edge. So thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it. Boy, crazy day today. My gosh. The Dow is down 292 points, down 1.04%. The NASDAQ is down 225 points, down 2.03%. And the S&P is down 51 points, down 1.52%. So let's take a look. Kamal is here. Hey, Kamal, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good chatting with you earlier today, and thanks for the results of your scan. Evan's here. How you doing, Evan? Good to see you. David's here. Hi, Greg and group. Hi, David. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. William says, hello, Greg. Hello to all. Interesting day in the markets. It sure is. It sure is. Good to see you, William. Hope you're doing well, sir. Quad is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Greg and group. I'll tell you what, real quick, before we get to the rest of the comments, let me just quickly go over what our format's going to be today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I had a couple day trades that I'll be sharing with you as well. After that, we're going to switch over, take a look at everyone's current positions up on the board, see how those are doing. Few of them are doing okay considering, so that's at least good. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about trader psychology. Most important skill you can develop as a trader is how you react to your trades, whether you have discipline, whether you can follow your plan. You know, the nice thing, what's great about Kamal and I share trades during the day. And I always appreciate Kamal because no matter whether I show him a winning trade or a losing trade, he always says, good trade, good job, because he understands that really the success in the trade is not whether or not it was a winner or a loser, but whether or not you followed your plan. So regardless if I have a winner or a loser, if I follow my plan, he always says good trades. And so, let that soak in. You can have a bad trade and make money. You can have a good trade and lose money, but a good trade all the way around is one that you waited for, the setup was there, and whether you win or you lose, it's a good trade if you follow your plan. All right, so we're going to talk about trader psychology. After that, Kamal has sent me the results of his watch list today. We're going to go down through that. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First requirement, looking for a confluence or combination of indicators. Secondly, have to have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1. Number 3, don't be too heavily correlated in any of your positions. You don't want to have too many tech stocks all at once, because if it goes up, that's fantastic. But if it goes down, you get crushed. And the other thing too is just look at your account heat. How many positions do you have total? I don't care if they're completely uncorrelated. You don't want to have too much account heat. 60% account heat, meaning that I will only put 60% of my account at risk, even with the best setups, even if they're not correlated. So we're going to go down through the watch list. If something looks good, meets all my requirements at the end of the day, I will go ahead and place that at the end of the day when the market closes. If you have any questions for me, need clarification on anything, please feel free, put it in the chat. If you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols you'd like my opinion on before the market closes, you can do that as well. Just put it in the chat and put an asterisk by it or emoji so that I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my very best to get to it before the close. And then if you have any changes today, any additions or subtractions to the board, please go ahead. Wait till after the market closes though. So wait till after the market closes so the pressure's off, market's closed, I'm done trading, I'm done teaching. and then we'll spend all the time we need to get those updated correctly. All right. So that's going to be the plan. So if you could hang tight, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, thanks for holding on. Dan says, Greg, I want to thank you for showing and telling us about position size, and Steve for writing about it in his great books, and Frank for writing a poem about it. I finally get it, and it helps out. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Dan. It's so important that you have to position size. You can't just say, hey, I buy 300 shares of whatever stock. Well, you know, if we take it to an extreme, buying 300 shares of Amazon's different than buying 300 shares of Eli Lilly, right? And why I like using the 2 ATR is not only does it help me position size correctly for my maximum loss, but it also takes into account what the volatility is. We have had some big bars lately, so therefore it's going to take that into account, and it's going to reduce the position size. All right. But you are welcome, Dan. And yes, thank you to Steve, and thank you to Frank. Miko says, good afternoon, Greg and all. Hey, Miko, good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always an honor, privilege to have Steve Burns here. Such a great author, such a great educator, such a great trader. If you haven't been over to newtraderu.com, that's his website. He has some really good online courses. He has really good books, really good information about trading over there. So go over to newtraderu.com and check it out. Let's see what Steve has to say. Triple witching and FMOC teaming up this week for extreme volatility, but the VIX is hardly moving. I saw that as well. I was expecting the VIX to be up pretty big today, and it's hardly moving, which is interesting. It'd be interesting to talk to Dave Lincoln, the VIX expert, to get his take on this. And I'm sure he's going to post something today on YouTube. It's Famous Dave's on YouTube. I'm going to be looking for that later to get his take on it. Frank is here. Hey, Frank, good to see you, my friend. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Always nice to have you, sir. Gary M is here. Hey, Gary and group, good to see you. Hey, did you buy puts on Nike yesterday? I know you did, and then you had a mistake. I don't know if you got back in the trade, though. But if you have a chance, let me know. William says, okay, I'll ask Steve, what are the terms triple witching and FMOC? Is FMOC fear of market craziness? Well, FMOC is the Federal Open Market Committee. It's the Fed, the Federal Reserve. And then triple witching is when, let's see, it's the end of the quarter, end of the month, and end of the week, I believe, right? For options expiration. Bob is here. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Hello, everyone. Zach is here. Hello, Greg. Hello, Zach. Frank has a poem for us. Let's check it out. Don't be afraid when there's nothing to trade. The market's a fortress, and sometimes a trader needs a barricade. So trade as you see fit, rely on your rules, and always keep your wits. Completely apropos to what's going on today. Let's read it again. Don't be afraid when there's nothing to trade. The market's a fortress, and sometimes a trader needs a barricade. So trade as you see fit, rely on your rules, and always keep your wits. It's true. You know, maybe we don't talk about this enough, but you don't have to trade every day. You can just sit back, wait for that perfect pitch to come across the plate. There's no 3 strikes rules. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with not trading today. I'm not sure I'll trade today, to be honest with you. There's a couple possibilities, but you know, I'm not 100% for basically what Frank's poem is. William says, got it, Greg, thanks. That's really good, Frank. It's really great. Steve says, triple witching requires option traders to reposition their hedges and reset their option plays, moving markets up and down. Yep, because you have a lot of things expiring, so people are moving things around quite a bit. Give me 1 second here. I have to make a trade for an account that I manage. Okay. Frank says, gives a clap for, or Dan gives a clap for Frank's poems. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and see what's happening here. Gary, Steve Burns, and I, we all bought AGQ, which is a double leveraged silver. Bought it back on the 14th at 58.87 with the 520 crossover. Went up, came down, went up, came down, and today gapped way down, but fortunately has recovered. My rule when I have a crossover is that if the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, or whatever moving average crossover you use to take the trade, I am going to take half off. The 5, 57.82, is still above the 20, so I will sell half today if it closes below 5 and the 20, take a loss, keep the other half in case we bounce. But if I sell half today and then the 5 crosses below the 20, I'll have to take the entire position off. So anyway, that's how it goes, but is down 1.31% today, but very thankful that it's well off of its lows. BAC, Quad and Johan and I took BAC yesterday with this nice V1, close above all the moving averages, bullish engulfing bar, rejection of the 50-day moving average. I like this trade. I really did. 25.65. The stop on this trade is halfway the washout bar, so the stop on this trade is 25.43. So if it closes below 25.43, I'm going to have to go ahead and just take the loss. But remember, I had some really nice potential movement to the upside, and I'm wrong on this trade. So if it closes below 25.43, I'll just have to go ahead and lock in that small loss. I mean, it's not too bad considering it's 1.29%. It's never fun to take a loss, but I'm grateful that it's off the lows and it's recovered a little bit, and grateful that it's down better than what the market is right now. All right, Roku, Brian, Johan, Steve, and I took Roku yesterday, 2 days ago at 168.52, 520 crossover. Next day it did go up. I did hit one profit target. Thankfully, this is a good example of why when I hit profit targets and then it goes back down, I'm really glad I hit that profit target because it locks in some of the shares at profitable levels. And if it goes back down like it is now, it also mitigates the loss on the downside. So I took it with the 520 crossover. The 5 is still above the 20, or the price is still above the 5 and the 20. The 5 is still above the 20. So in this case, I will keep the position, even though it is a loss. And it's down 3.86% today. All right, SPY. Well, SPY has been pretty good lately, but not today. And that's the way of the SPY overnight trade. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based on a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, tested 2 approaches. Approach number 1, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell it at the close. This approach returned a negative 13.9% return. However, do the opposite approach, which is what I do every day. I buy the SPY at the close, I hold it overnight, I sell it the first thing the next morning. This approach, positive 634.2% return since 1993. This is over time. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. It may never work again, but it has worked well in the past for many years. And so if I'm going to allocate money towards a trade, it's going to be a trade that has good back-tested results. So Blue lines buy the close, sell the next morning. Orange lines buy the morning, sell the same day close. Over time, the blue line, all it has done is gone up, but there are major drawdowns with this approach. It's not just an easy high probability trade. Over time, it does well, but in the short term, or even, here, this was a couple year drawdown. So if you're going to use this approach, if you're considering about using this approach, you're going to wake up with a dinger one day, just like I did. And I did buy it at come on now, 338.82 yesterday, and I sold it for 333.50. So not so hot, right? Not so hot. But that's how it goes. And I feel very comfortable with this approach. In the short run, anything can happen. Like today, I mean, it's no good. I sold it right at the bottom at the open, and it has rallied, but it was much higher. It's come back now. So it's unfortunate, but that's just part of the overnight SPY trade. I will buy this again at the end of the day. Intel, I do have a position on Intel. Intel is only down 5 cents today. It's only down a tenth of a percent, which is really good. It shows the relative strength of Intel. I did sell puts on Intel at the $85 mark, expiring November 20th. The reason I picked the $45 mark is, one, we're in the value zone. Two, we have the 20 EMA quarterly just hanging underneath that $45 mark. On the monthly, have the 50-month moving average right above my strike price of 45, which offers some theoretical protection. And then on the weekly, have the 200-week moving average above my strike price, offering some protection. So if you're not familiar with selling puts, as long as Intel stays above $45 by November 20th, I will be able to keep all the premium. If it does not, I will have to exit the trade for a loss, or I'll be required to buy it at $45, but I will be able to keep all the premium. Really glad this is holding in there pretty good today. And I am up on that trade. Apple. All right. I sold, same type of trade. I sold puts on Apple at 77.50 with the 1 ATR channel and the 20 EMA as support underneath me on the monthly. On the weekly, the 77.50 has the 50-week moving average above as protection. And on the daily, I have the 200 and the 250 moving average above my $77.50 mark. So Apple is down $2.46 today, but nice thing with selling puts is that I do still have a lot of protection and I am up on the trade. In these kind of volatile markets, I really do like to trade options because I don't have to be as exact, and I can get some protection. So, okay, now I think that's it. I did have a really nice day trade on Apple. I had a short up here. We had a nice rally on the 5-minute up to the 50-day moving average. We rejected the 50-day moving average and we triggered a V1. I waited till the end of the bar. I shorted it here at 111.61, and it was just a great trade all the way down. I got out here at 109.83. So I shorted at 111.61. I covered at 109.83. I covered here on this bar because we had the sideways motion and we had this V1 false breakout to the downside, which normally I would go long. So that's why I exited the trade, and I was thinking about going long. I decided not to go long on this bar. This is where I got out of the short, but then I went long here the next bar when we came down right to the 50%. It should have held. It didn't. I bought it at 109.58 and I had to get out at 109.18. But a couple dollars to the downside for profit and 50-cent loss to the upside. So all in all, pretty good. Okay. And because I always forget, Frank is in at Intel on Apple at 113. So we're at 109.72. So down a little over $3, about $3.25 so far on that trade for Frank. Interesting with Apple here, we did go underneath the 50 and then went above it, and then we rejected it again, which is a bit of a bad sign, honestly. Gary says, didn't buy Nike puts, made the mistake on the trade and said to myself, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Oh, bummer. Bummer, Gary. Frank says, thank you, William. Steve says, not so hot tamale today. Not so hot tamale today is true, Steve. I haven't said that for a while. We've had a pretty good run of things, but not so hot tamale. Frank said, speaking of hot tamale, I defined my risk and bought Sumo and IPO at $25.95. Let's take a look. Sumo, not Suma. Oh. I don't have this on my chart, maybe because it's an IPO. Hope you did well on it. $25.59. What's it at now, Frank? Okay, so there were my trades. Not so great. Again, real quick on the AGQ, if it closes under the 5 and the 20, I will take off half. BAC, if it closes under 25.43, I'll have to go out, just take the loss. Roku, price is still above the 5 and the 20, so I will keep. SPY, horrible overnight SPY trade, but again, I will buy it at the close. Intel, very glad this is holding pretty strong today for my puts. That's good. And then, of course, Apple, have the puts on Apple. All right. Let's take a look. Kamal bought Wing today, intraday at 132 even. V1, false breakout to the downside, under 30, over 30. He bought it at 132. It's at 132.81. So pretty nice trade, day trade. And I'm sure this is probably going to morph into a regular swing trade if it closes correctly for Kamal, I would imagine. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. Gold. All right, we have Gary and Dan bought gold at 184.40 with the 520 crossover. Looks like Gary and Dan are still in it. So they bought 184.40. It's 182.62, down 0.37% today. But well off its lows if we're looking for a bright side. Kamal, look, I think Kamal's got his swagger back. Kamal was a little quiet there. Wasn't doing poorly, but Kamal has had some huge winners, had some really good streaks, and I think Kamal is right back in the driver's seat. Look at this today. Kamal bought BMRN yesterday at 75.58. It is up 3.56% today, so congratulations, Kamal. Really nice trade. J&J, Bob, this has been a long trade. Bob bought J&J back here at 147.39. Nice big up move. I don't know if Bob locked in any profits, but it's come all the way back. It's down 1.39% today and down 100 down today and below his entry price as well. Gold. Steve Burns did buy UGL with the GLD 520 cross. Bought it here at 74.30. Now it is 73.12, down 1.55% today. So a little underwater on the trade. IBB. Steve bought IBB. Did anybody else buy it? No. Steve bought IBB yesterday at 136.64. Down today, but it's recovered off of its low, only down 0.5%, which on a day like today is pretty good. SQ, Steve, Johan, Brian did buy SQ with the 520 crossover yesterday at 150.108. It's 144.16, down 4.56% today, and looks like we got the cross under today. So tough day today for any longs. Alibaba. Steve did buy Alibaba back on the 15th at 277.25 with the 520 crossover. Yesterday it started up nicely, but now is down 1.66%. It looks like the 5 is still above the 20. Gary sold puts on Alibaba expiring tomorrow. If Alibaba is able to hold above 240 by tomorrow, he keeps all the money on his spreads that he sold, and it's 273.54. So barring some huge ugly down day tomorrow, looks like Gary's going to bring in the money on Alibaba. Intel, oh, I forgot on Intel. All right. Bob bought Intel back at 49.22. V2 under 30, over 30, moved sideways, had nice move up. Now it's come back down. But I'll tell you what, Intel, the relative strength of Intel has been very strong compared to the rest of the market. And so it is down today 0.5%. But glad to see that, that Bob's still in the money on the trade. IAU, this is Frank. Frank bought IAU back here 1865. It's 1855, so he's been in this a couple weeks, only down 10 cents, so that's good, but glad to see that gold has recovered off of its lows. FCFS is also Bob. Bought FCFS at 58.10. It is 60.26, down today 1.89%, but still up on the trade. So let's focus on the positive. Silver, Kamal, Dan, Yas, and Quad bought silver at 25.19. It's 25.06. Again, like AGQ, well off of its lows today, but the four of these traders here are slightly underwater, but not too bad. Looks like a small loss. Kamal, again with the winner. Kamal bought USO at 27.06 back on 9/11 with the under 30, over 30 confluence at the 100-day moving average. And this has been a monster trade, up another 1.7% today. So Kamal is up roughly 7.69%. That's the Kamal we know and love right there. Excuse me. SO, Carol bought SO at 51.76. It's at 53.18, down a little bit today, but nicely up on the trade. NOC is Evan. Evan bought Northram Grumman at 340.03. It is at 341.63, so down today, but still nicely up on the trade. IWC. Steve did buy IWC on the 1030 EMA cross at 94.37. It is now 93.68, down 0.76%. True. Oh, Kamal bought True at 473. Had a huge day up yesterday, down 4.79% today, but still profitable on the trade. Okay, we already talked about Alibaba. GDX, Yas bought GDX at 58.35. It is at 60.76, so down today, but nicely up on the trade. And last but not least, Johan. Johan bought this nice return to value V2, perfect little trade here on UAL at 36.75. It is 37.98, down 0.86%, but still up nicely on the trade. So yeah, a bit of a rough day today for sure, but you know, we have to remember, folks, the market doesn't always go up. Everybody, I think, got lulled into this hypnotic state in August of the market just going up, and it doesn't always do that. It does not always do that, as we are finding out. So again, just a good time to remind everybody, keep in mind how much correlation you have. Keep in mind position sizing correctly for your maximum loss, taking into account volatility. right? And adhere to your stops. Sometimes it is very hard to take a trade. Take a loss. I realize that, but I'm sure if you had any experience in trading, a lot of time you take a loss and later you are really glad you took that loss. Remember, the first loss is the easiest one to take. Frank says, I bought Sumo at $25.50. It's currently $27.50. Nice. Congratulations, Frank. Steve says, I will likely exit Roku and SQ today due to the high big percentage reversal and risk of a big loss. Okay, sounds good. Noted. Make sure you tell me for sure, though, so I can get that correct up on the board. Steve says, Vixx did find resistance at the 200-day moving average today. Let's go over here and look at Vixx. Oh. Okay, that's not going to work. Yeah, Steve is completely right. So the VXX is not up much, but the VIX index is up 4%, but well off of its highs. You can see it rejected the 200-day moving average there. So that could be a bullish sign for stocks. I mean, not 100% sure, but if we're looking for a silver lining, that is a bit of a silver lining. Glenn, hey Glenn. Hi Greg, Apple closed below 111 today. Will bring the bears out looking for 100. Yeah, that $100, that sounds, that's such a round psychological number. There will be a lot of people keying off of that. But yes, you're 100% right, Glenn. Glenn's really good with those levels. Frank said, I just sold Sumo at $278.68 that he bought at $25.50. Very nice, Frank. William, hey, how you doing, William? Hello, I bought GE during the March lows. Will GE momentum continue? In your opinion, I am in no rush at all. I have not looked at GE forever, so this will be kind of fun. Oh, this was not what I was expecting to see. Congratulations, William. Wow, look at the move. This is really hard to say here, William. It really kind of depends on your time frame. If it's a long-term time frame, I mean, this is very good, strong movement. This is bullish, in my opinion, for the long term. In the short term, we're at the third ATR channel. We haven't quite rejected the 70 RSI. So it would really depend what your time frame is. If you're trading this, on a trade, very likely I would wait for the 70 RSI. But hitting the third ATR channel is it's a bit of a red flag concerning if you were trading it short-term trading. But if you're holding this long-term, I like this move long-term. I mean, this does bode well in my opinion. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but this is bullish. I mean, let's just simplify it. It's bullish. Evan says, wing. Yeah, this is what Kamal bought here at 132 even. So it's up $1.30 already. It's pretty good. It's a false breakout to the downside. It's a V1. It's a bullish engulfing bar. And, ideally, if it were to close above the third ATR channel and the 5-day, it would be good. The 5 day is 144.39. Right now it's at 133.61 is the 5 day, and we are at 133.69. This is a potential 333,000 shares traded, so it's okay. Oh yeah, this is a triple screen kind of stock where we're in a nice uptrend on the monthly. On the weekly, we have pulled right back into the value zone, which is always a good sign. If the longer term trend, which is the monthly, is up, the weekly's back down into value. I like that. And then you look for the trade on the daily, and that would be the trade. So that is definitely a possibility. GM is here. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hello, Greg and all. Lots of hearts. Thank you for that. That's nice of you. Hope you are doing great. Thank you, GM. Hope you are doing well as You are also doing well. William says long term. Yeah, long term, I think GE looks good. I mean, I was expecting not to see that, especially on a day like today. So that's really good. That's really good. That is very bullish long term. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, good. Yeah. So congratulations for having such a big day on that today, William. Okay, let me take a little look, see what's going on over here. Okay, so listen, before we start looking at the results of the scanners, before I start looking for an end of day trade, keeping in mind 3 requirements, right? Confluence combination of indicators lining up on ideally on multiple time frames. That's number 1 requirement. Number 2, even if you have a good combination or confluence of signals, or in other words, buyers lining up on multiple time frames, we still have to analyze it, make sure there's a decent risk to reward. 2 to 1 is my minimum. Then 3, even if it's a great setup, you still have to keep in, you still have to think to yourself, how many positions do I have? Do I have correlated positions? How much account heat do I have at play? But I'll mention this every day, but there's some really good Facebook and Twitter channels out there. They're my favorite ones. I follow them all. I read them every day. And really great one is Thomas Payne on Twitter, at Trader T Payne. Thomas was a scientist, so he takes a very scientific approach to trading, and specifically the importance of trader psychology. And Thomas changed from being a scientist to a trader. So I think that's a pretty cool background, especially with the scientific background, how he applies it. But he's at Trader T Payne. Let's take a look. Some stocks can fake it for a little while during good times, but when the fear strikes, conviction is proven in the stocks that can weather the storm. A market pullback allows you to see which stocks are tennis balls and which ones are eggs. I want to own tennis balls. And this is a quote inspired by Mark Minervini, which of course I'm sure you know who he is. I talk about him a lot. But what is this saying? This is saying when we have a pullback in the market, it really kind of pulls the pants down on all the stocks. I mean, when stocks are going up, they can kind of hide, like rising tide lifts all boats. But when the market comes down, you kind of see the ones that can hold their own and don't go down as much as the rest of the market, right? And like I said, some stocks can fake it for a little while during good times, but when fear strikes, conviction is proven in the stocks that can weather the storm. A market pullback allows you to see which stocks are tennis balls. In other words, which ones will bounce off when the market recovers and which ones will not, which are the eggs. I want to own tennis balls. So, a good example, I was just talking about this earlier, was Intel. Somebody asked me yesterday, I think it was Karen asked me yesterday, how do you decide what stocks that you're going to be trading? And intraday, during the day trades, I look a lot at relative strength. If the market's down big, but the stock is actually up or not down as much, that's kind of an indication to me that, hey, this one is holding its own in a down market, so that if the market does turn around, most likely this stock will turn around quicker. So anyway, keep that in mind. Look for, in a market pullback like we're having now, look for stocks that are holding their own, not going down as much or even going up, because then if and when the market rebounds, those ones are going to bounce like balls, right? Those ones are most likely going to have a much faster move up than other stocks, because they were stronger. The relative strength was higher when the market was down. So always keep that in mind. In Kamal's scanner, he actually has that factored in. If the market's down but this stock's up, it gets a few bonus points. So anyway, thank you, Thomas. Really great apropos saying, especially in this market here. So keep your eyes open for stocks that are holding their own, that don't go down as much. But thank you very much, Thomas Payne, at Trader T Payne on Twitter. Go and subscribe. Wow, I'm just so impressed with GE today. I haven't looked at GE in months. Good for the GE stockholders. They've needed it. Okay. Let me just take a quick look at current positions, see what's going on. All right. Well, silver is back above the 20, which means I can hold it. That would be good. BAC, it went up to my stop, it rejected it. Most likely I'll have to get out of BAC if it closes below 25.43. Roku, I'm still going to hold this. It's holding above both the 5 and the 20. If it does close below the 5 and the 20, I'll get out of half. If the 5 then crosses under the 20, I'll get out of the full amount. SPY, this was brutal. Off of its low, so the market is rallying a bit, which is a good sign. I will be buying SPY again at the close today. Intel only down 2%. Strong, man. Strong like bull. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Here is Intel. I mean, the big movement we've had in the the Qs in the market. Look at Intel. Been pretty steady and even up. So the relative strength is really good, and it's only down 4 cents today. So keep that in mind. Looks like we have a 520 cross. I back tested this. It does not back test well, but nonetheless, it's good to have. And Apple, okay. It'd be a good sign for Apple if it could close over the 50-day moving average. 50-day is at 110.34. We're at 110.12, so it's rallied back up to there. So that should be interesting. David said Spotify. Yeah. You know, I was looking at Spotify earlier. I would have liked to have bought, see, here's the low of the range. Now we broke to the new range. We rejected the third ATR channel nicely. Couldn't form a V1. Earlier in the day, it did trigger a V2, but now it's lost that, and it's also lost the resistance of that previous low, which used to be support. Now it's a little bit higher. So, all right, let me take a look. Wingstop, 341,000 shares traded, is pretty dang strong today. This is definitely a possibility. False breakout to the downside, bullish engulfing bar. V1, Kamal bought it at 132. The 5-day moving average is at 133.50. We are underneath that. I think that's going to be my decision on this, whether or not it can close above the 5-day and close above the negative third ATR channel. If it does, I'll consider buying that. Not great volume, but still over a $250,000, so that one's a potential. Hey everybody, give me about 25 seconds if you can. Maybe you could tell some jokes. I will be right back. I have to take care of something. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Thanks for hanging out. Eli Lilly, you know, it's not too bad today, really. I mean, we have a 520 cross. I'm not sure now whether that back test well. I better take a look. Let me take a quick look, see here. Is up today, so the relative strength is good, like we've just been discussing. So oh boy. So the 520 EMA crossover on Eli Lilly does not backtest well. It does not backtest well. So let's see if we can divine anything else out of this other than the 520. Although a 520 never hurts, right? We do have a higher low V1, that is for sure. We washed out yesterday's low, closed above. We are above the 50 RSI. We're above the 20, the 5, and the 10. Is a bit of resistance here. MACD is positive. That's also good, and it is up on a down day. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly's pretty good. As a matter of fact, weekly's a V2. Pull back into value, sideways motion. I kind of like this, actually, especially with the V2 on the weekly. See the pullback into the value, sideways motion, washout, trigger here. Let me try Eli Lilly. Oh man, okay. And red bar. Yeah, I kind of like Eli Lilly. Oh, Mount Doji wants. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. How am I doing on time? Oh boy, I better hurry. It's okay, but you know, Mount Doji, we made this lower high. We didn't wash out the low, so I don't like that. I mean, it's better than nothing for sure, but I would prefer to have it wash out that low. All right, Sprouts Fresh Market, big strong day today, up 4% today. Holy smokes, over the 200. I don't think this back tests well over the 200, so I'm going to let that one go. OLLI looked better earlier when it had a false breakout to the downside and was over 30, but now it's lost both, so I'm going to take that one off. JKHY. Has that 50 right above it, so that one I'm going to let go. IBKR, false breakout to the downside. V1 close back up into the value zone. Weekly is in the value zone. That one's, it's not bad, but it's only 223,000 shares traded, so I think it's a decent setup, but not a lot. Oh my gosh, New York Times, what happened here? That was way up and way down. Okay, that one's definitely off the list. BCPC, nice big reversal, but just too much resistance up here. CVS, this was the one I guess I should have taken yesterday with the false breakout in the V1. I didn't take it. Little chasey right here. Dang, I was very close to taking this one. FTNT. I think I'm going to pass on that one. BKNG. Close over the 50, but not enough for me. DraftKings, wow, look at that, everybody. Nice move, but much too high for me to buy. AT, Atlantic Power, no, only 210,000 shares. NICE, no. AMD, false breakout to the downside, close back above the 50-day moving average, which is pretty good. That one's okay. ZNGA. This looks like it probably went under 30 and over 30. Yes. That one's pretty good. OKTA. Too much overhead resistance. KMPR. STRA. MACD's positive, but only 116,000 shares. So really not enough shares for me. Argo. It's pretty good, Mount Doji, but it already rejected the 50 RSI. See, we're at 59.58, and it was already higher than that. Just right there concerns me about it. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but just, I mean, it's pretty decent actually. But with my rule, it already rejected the 50 RSI today near the top, which already showed me a red flag. So that's why I would not buy Argo. SOHU. Yeah, it's pretty good. Higher low V1, close above the 50, but it's only 105,000 shares, so not enough for me. And I'd like it better if it was in the value zone. MDB. Oh, MongoDB. I remember this one. False breakout to the downside, V1. Enough shares traded. Yeah, one's okay. Tracy Peterson, hey, how you doing? Tell Paxton hello if he's there. Sun. Yeah, I don't see anything here on Sun yet. I just, you know, it could set up for a nice higher low V2 tomorrow, but I'd like to see some upwards movement show that it wants to go up. So I wouldn't do anything with Sun here right now. So let me take a look. Wing. $133.67. It's $133.68. So it is above it. This one's decent. Eli Lilly, nice higher low V1, but what I like this V2 on the weekly. It's beautiful. It has a lot of room to run on the weekly. I think I'm gonna leave AMD alone. I'd prefer if it was in the low 30s or in the value zone. We're kind of in no man's land here. ZNGA. Let me just do some quick math on this one. Tell you what, I do kind of like ZNGA. So I'm going to take a trade in Lilly and ZNGA. That's what I'm going to buy today. Lilly and ZNGA. All right. Hey, silver went positive. That's a good silver. Okay, so I am going to buy Lilly. What's the problem here? Oh, okay. And I am going to buy ZNGA. All right, that's done there. Need to do it over here. Okay, all taken care of there. Glenn says, Greg, what's the minimum volume shares traded per day before you would consider taking the trade, and how did you determine the volume level? You know, 250,000 is about my minimum. Just through the years of listening to traders that I know and respect, seemed like the common denominator of 250 was about the norm. But you know, I don't like taking shares or trades with that low of volume. You know, I'm so used to trading big caps that it's never a concern. But just from listening to different traders that I respect, it always seemed like about 250,000 came up. Steve says, I exited SQ at 145 for a 3.89% loss, taking risk off and due to its dangerous drop today. Frank says, Greg, what are your thoughts on bonds? Well, we're right here in the value zone. MACD's positive, but we did reject the 50 RSI already today, Frank. And we're closing below the open, and we were above the 50, closing below, above these moving averages, closing below. I mean, nothing jumps out at me today as something that I would buy. Let's look over on the weekly. Yeah, it's winding up on the weekly. It definitely seems like it's going to move one way or the other, that's for sure. But it wouldn't be anything that would catch my eye. Look at silver, like a champion, closing green. All right, 10 seconds to go. Oops. Oh, great. Okay, here we go. Well, Dow Jones down 130, so had a nice little comeback. NASDAQ down 140 points, down 1.27%, and the S&P down 0.84. So as kind of been the case lately, the NASDAQ has definitely got the worst of it. All right, so AGQ I kept. 520 is still in play. 5 prices over the 5 and the 20, and the 5 is over the 20. BAC, I did have to get out of this with a close below halfway the washout bar. Yesterday was the washout bar. Halfway was 25.43, close at 25.34. So I did get out of BAC and took a loss. Roku, I kept. The price is still above the 5 and the 20, and the 5 is above the 20. SPY, I got filled on that. We'll see where that was in a minute. And then, of course, I have the puts on Intel and Apple, which both down today, but both in the money, which is the important part. And then I bought, let's see. I bought the SPY at 335.84, and I bought Zynga at $8.36. So listen, if you have any trades today, if you have any new additions or subtractions, please just go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will do my very best to get them all taken care of for you. Before I do, just real quick, I just want to put in my quick little daily plug and remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've traded for over 24 years. I've studied extensively one-on-one with some really great traders and authors that you're going to know, like Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Carrie Lavorne, Larry Williams. And the course that I teach, I take everything I've learned from these four gentlemen, plus what I've learned myself over the years, and I combine it into a course. The course is a total of 15 hours, just you and I, one-on-one. Lots of questions, lots of answers, lots of repetition. So 5 sessions, 3 hours each. That's where you get the 15 hours. I really think the best way to learn how to trade, or learn anything for that matter, is to do it one-on-one with a coach. And that's why I structured the lessons this way, because I think I can give people the most personal attention, and I think it's the best way to learn and the best way for me to teach. So if you're interested in taking the class, again, it is in the evening time. It is via Skype. It is one-on-one, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. So I think when you're done with the course, I know when you're done with the course, you're going to have a really good ability to look at the market, whatever the market's doing, and have strategies to approach the market. And we don't just talk about strategies, we talk about position sizing, volatility, profit targets, stop losses. I mean, psychology, everything you can think of, everything that we do here, but just imagine 15 hours of this one-on-one, right? I've had really good success with my students, and so if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. My email is in the description of this video, or you can send me a message on Skype at Gossett Trading. Not Skype, on Twitter, sorry. And if you do reach out to me, I'll reply, say, hey, how's it going? Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is there for me to get to know you a little bit better, learn more about you and your trading and your goals and your challenges. And then it's a great time for you to ask me any questions about the course. It's not a sales call. I promise you that. I will never ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to talk to you, get to know you better. When we're done, I'll say, hey, it's nice talking to you. Think about it. If you decide you want to do it, you know how to contact me, and then we'll schedule it up. So there's that. And then if you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps keep the channel going, helps Google promote it, and just helps in a lot of different ways. So, if you have a half a second before you click out of here, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so where is my... Eli Lilly. Okay. I also got Lilly at 152.36. All right. So I know that I have to make some room here. Which might be tougher than I think. Okay, so SPY, where did I get filled on SPY? I got filled on SPY at 335.84. I got filled at Lilly at 152.36. And Zynga, that's not Zynga. At $8.36. Okay. Now, I know Steve got out of Square. And let's see what else is going on. Okay, so Steve. Okay, so I got Steve out of Square. Kamal is out of True. All right. Nice trade there, Kamal. Still positive, still profitable. Brian's out of Square and Roku. Okay. Kamal out of True and in Wing. Okay, I've already got Kamal in Wing. Quad says, hey Greg, I'm actually at a BAC. It hit my stop, still in silver, entered Zynga. Okay. Glenn says, no trades for me until the SPY returns with the MACD cross and 5s above the 20. Sell was triggered at 395 yesterday. Okay, sounds good, Glenn. That sounds like definitely some good parameters. Gary said, sold put spreads on Intel, November 45, November 42.50 puts for 51 cents, 20% ROI potential. All right, how am I going to say this? Let's see. So I've got Gary. Sold credit spreads 9. November 20. 45 40s. Puts. All right. So that means, everybody, as long as Intel closes above $45 by November, Gary will make the difference between the $45 and the $40 puts that he sold and the puts that he bought. So good luck with that. Lily is yes. And Zynga. Glenn says, Vixx closed on the low. Could be a bounce into triple witching tomorrow before the next down leg. Yeah, very likely. I mean, it is a good sign that the Vixx closed at the bottom. That's for sure, Glenn, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a silver lining. Bob is out of J&J. Oh, J&J is gone. All right. Yeah, it wasn't reacting very well. Man, we've had that trade on there for a long time, haven't we? Haven't we, Bob? I have Square here. I just still have Johan in it. Gary has Zynga. October 20. October 20, 25, 26 calls. All right, well, how about we do this? Okay. And Gary also has calls on LVS. Which is Las Vegas Sands. All right. Wait a minute. How come that didn't work? Oh, I see. Okay, Gary, gotcha. Quad says thumbs up as always. Thank you, Quad. Much appreciated. Thank you. Dan says notes not needed, but FYI, this morning I bought full position of silver at 24.62, sold half at 25.16, bought silver back to full position at 25.06. Let's see. Okay, gotcha. But okay, so I'm not going to put that in there, Dan, but I do have you and Dan. Very nice. So you got in there and sold a little, bought a little bit about cheaper. Dan says, Greg, your technique of day trading info a position inspired me to day trade around a position. It feels good. Oh, fantastic. Good. Bob S-H S-A-S-H-L-L. Tortoise Acquisition Group. Is that right, Bob? $46. Oh, that's a good trade. $46.68. Bob M. Dan, thanks, Gary. I'm proud to be the runt of the litter. Frank says, as the song goes, the trades grow short as you reach September. I'm taking artistic license. As the song goes, the trades grow short as you reach September. Well, September has not been a very kind month so far. Frank says, Greg, at what point in time would you consider a trade turns into an investment? Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm not really sure what to say there. I mean, I think it turns into an investment if you hold it longer than you were supposed to. You know that move where people make a trade and it goes down and it goes down and goes down, and then you make the switch from, well, this isn't any trade anymore, it's a long-term investment. I'm sure we've all been through that. That's really hard to say because it really depends on what your time horizon was when you took the trade. When I bought Boeing, I can't remember how long I was in that, but I was in it quite a bit longer than I usually am because it was a weekly trade. I think it was like 46% return. It was a fantastic return, but I think I was in it like a month and a half, but I don't consider that an investment. It was still a trade. I think I think if you have a trade on and you have exit points both to the downside and to the upside, I think if it's part of a trading plan, I wouldn't consider it an investment. I still think I would consider it a trade. I don't know if that's a very good answer, but I was thinking about it here, and as long as it was a trading plan, no matter how long it was, I would consider it a trade. I would only consider it an investment if I bypassed the trading plan. I hope that helps, Frank. Glenn says, ILMN hammered again today. Dip buyers may be tempted tomorrow. ILMN. Oh my. I don't know what this company does. Well, all I know, there's a lot of supply coming in here. People are distributing, they are not buying. It very well may bounce, but how far is it going to bounce? Is it going to bounce up to a 50 Fibonacci? I kind of doubt it. Will it bounce up to the 250 or the 200? Maybe. If it bounces at all, it may go lower. I mean, there was not a lot of buying going on today, a lot of volume. Maybe there was a little buying at the end. Boy, it's interesting. Zach says, following up on that, do you ever buy stocks you hold for the long term, or do you solely look to swing day trade? Yeah, I don't really buy anything for the long term, Zach. Now, that being said, it depends what time frame I'm buying it on. I mean, like Eli Lilly, if I could see taking Eli Lilly right here, I took it on the daily, but I could see taking this on the weekly with this return to value V2. And if it went well, I might be in this for 2 or 3 or 4 months, possibly. But do I buy something for long term? I really don't. I like to keep a little bit more control over it. Although overnight SPY trade is long term. It's just like, it is buying, it's just holding the SPY. It's just that I'm buying it I'm holding it overnight, not during the day. So that is a long term if you want to look at it that way. But no, I basically just do long swing trades and day trades. Brian says, I would consider Greg's overnight SPY a long-term investment. Well, there you go. Yep, that's what I was just saying. I didn't see that before when I said that earlier. But yeah, just exactly what I just said. I would consider Greg's overnight SPY trade a long-term investment. That's 100%. That's 100%. But other than that, I could take trades on the monthly, but I would still consider it a trade. I wouldn't consider it a long-term investment, but I might be in the trade for 3 months or 4 months. But no, I don't buy just something and hold it, I guess. Gary says, thank you, Greg and group. I will leave you with the tweet quote from legend Mike Sexton. May all your stocks be live and all your gains be monsters. Have a great day. That's funny. That's from the poker world. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that, bud. Appreciate that. Good luck on all your trades you had today. And Frank says, my history with Apple is that I have always regretted selling it. I'm seriously think about marrying it. Now, there you go. If you're going to marry any stock, Apple would be the one. Apple would definitely be the one. That's why I sold puts on Apple. I like Apple, but where it is, it's a little volatile right now. Am I happy to pick it up maybe for a little bit longer kind of trade or institute a trailing stop if I get filled down at 77.50? Yeah, I don't think I'll get filled down here. I might, but I wouldn't mind doing it. In the meantime, make some pretty good premium. But you never know. Glenn says, Frank, most marriages fail when long-term relationships marry. Oh, well, there's something to think about also. All right. Well, I think we got everything up to date here. SQ, I still have Johan in, but I don't know. I don't think Johan was here today. And then IBB, I did not see anything from Steve about getting out of IBB. What did Tesla do today? Speaking of long term, down 4%. All right. Boy, Steve got out right at the right time. Nice trade for Kamal on oil. And BRM, man, look at this. 3.69%. What a day. And we had this sideways motion and explosion. Didn't start out so well, but all right. So Lily, we shall see. If I get a close below halfway the washout bar, I'm out on Lily. ZNGA, close below 30 RSI will be my stop. HEQ went positive today. That's unbelievable. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's it for the day. Thank you so much for coming by today. Always nice to see everyone. I really always look forward to it. Go out, try to do something nice for somebody today. Try to do one nice thing for a person every day. Just a smile, a wave, hello, just a nice gesture, something. It would make the world a lot better place. And also, on top of that, if you could do one nice thing for an animal today, whether it's a bird or a cat or a dog or a horse, just one nice thing, right? Give them a little scratch, give them a little rub, give them a little treat, say hello to them. You know, they're living creatures and they like the attention as well. So bring you 10 years of good luck if you just do one nice thing for a human and an animal every day. So, all right. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you coming. If you could hit the thumbs up button before you leave, that would be fantastic as well. Red day today, but that's how it goes. That is part of trading. So we will see what happens tomorrow. So have a safe day. Be good, be kind, and hopefully see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. Take care, everyone. Bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.